Hello and welcome. This is Sandra Hart. Sometimes we put too much stress on ourselves because we are so focused on how we look and how we think people perceive us. I must down to the sea again, to the lonely sea and sky, and all I ask is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. And the wheels kick, and the wind's song, and the white sails shaking, and a gray mist on the sea's face, and a gray dawn breaking. John Masefield. Earth beauty. Now, that seems like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Because they're both adjectives, but they completely have different meanings, don't they? Or at least they seem to. When you think of beauty, what do you think? And I think the Webster definition is something that is exquisite, pleasing to the eye, something that is out of the ordinary, a beautiful woman, a beautiful rose, with its beautiful petals and its smell. So when you think of beauty, you think of something perhaps like a woman who walks in the room and catches everyone's eye and they just can't keep their eyes off of her. So that is our idea, or a beautiful painting, something that is just so extraordinary that we are just focused on that beauty. And down to earth. When you think of down to earth, which is also an adjective, what do you think? What do you think? Something that is utilitarian, something that is without ornament, plain, basic, grounded, just something that seems just quite the opposite of beauty, doesn't it? Well, there is such a thing called, and in my mind, it's down-to-earth beauty. Now, what the heck is down-to-earth beauty? Think about it. We play different roles in our lives, don't we? Maybe we're one person at the office, we're someone else with our husband or our family, our friends. We maybe assume and play different roles without even realizing it. We act a different way when we are with certain people sometimes. And that's called role playing. And we all do it. But that is not the real you. Now, when I was an actress, I think Marlon Brando first practiced this, and Daniel Day-Lewis is an excellent example of method acting. And method acting is when you assume the character of that person. You completely lose yourself and you assume that character. When I was in New York, one of the plays I did, I played an older woman who lived in a nursing home in the Carolinas, and a very handsome young preacher came by to see us, and all of us three women were trying to fight for his attention. Well, at the time I just turned 50. I certainly didn't look old. I didn't feel old. And I thought, how am I ever going to get into this character? So I bought a gray wig, and for about 3 weeks, I walked around, and maybe even closer to a month, while I was learning my lines and preparing for the character. I walked around, in a sweater and maybe clothes that were just a little bit too big for me. I had a gray wig, I wore a babushka, and when I went to the grocery store and when I went for walks, I noticed how people perceived me a lot differently than when I was really dressed as a, a very fashionable 50-year-old woman. And I could feel, and I got that interaction of how people were reacting to me when they thought I was an old woman. I even experimented. I went to our local Cinemaplex, and I had my gray wig and my babushka on and a pair of glasses. And I didn't even have to ask for a senior citizen ticket. I said, 1 ticket, please. And the cashier, gave me a senior citizen ticket. So through that experience of role-playing, I was able to get into the character of this older woman and how maybe she felt about the way people reacted to her. So that's exactly what happens to us when we are role-playing. The result is we lose ourselves. And down-to-earth beauty has absolutely nothing to do with age, with genetics, with wrinkles, with ethnicity. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. It is being able to shine as yourself and let your genuine self shine through. Being real. That's exactly what that is. And I know sometimes that is kind of hard because we have mirror images. We are wondering what other people think and what we perceive they think, and then we bring that impression back on ourselves. Well, if she thinks I am that way, then maybe that's who I really am, but that is not who you really are. Now, Charles Cooley is a sociologist, and he developed that theory. It's called the looking glass theory, and I'm going to do a whole video on that later on. But it's just how we sometimes are stressed because we're not too sure, how people think about us. And let me tell you that it really is true, and maybe you know people who do this, but when you fake who you really are and you play that role all the time, it actually becomes your reality, and that's not who you really are. So it's really stressful to have a persona that is not you. Now, I've noticed, sometimes on YouTube when I watch creators and I watch certain YouTubers and the young kids doing, their things, but the ones that are most successful are the ones who don't role play. They're the ones who are down to earth, and this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. And you like them because they are real, don't you? If we role play long enough, it really does become who we are, even though it's really not who we are. I find that connection is truly made when people genuinely feel they have been seen, they have been heard, and they have been understood. And when we can exchange that value and be who we really are, then that is down-to-earth beauty. And in my mind, and I hope you agree, I think that type of beauty supersedes any definition of beauty that we can ever have in our lives. It's being real, and it's being you. So down-to-earth beauty is not about makeup. It's about not role-playing, and it's about embracing who you are. And I have maybe done a lot of videos on this, but embracing who you are and being real. And that's what it's all about. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope, again, that you will do something nice for yourself and reach out to someone you think that may like to hear from you today. And, of course, to share the love. And a very interesting fact, I looked at my analytics the other day, and I found out that 50% of my viewers haven't subscribed yet. So if you're watching, I'd love to have you subscribe and come along with me. And please notice also that YouTube is no longer going to be notifying with that little bell of whenever any of us creators put up videos. So I put up a video every Tuesday. That's my regular day. But I would love to have you subscribe and come along with all of us on this journey. I have a fantastic group of subscribers that I absolutely love and adore. Thank you again, and I hope I will see you here in my next video. Have a super day today, and